Hey YouTube, FlackJacket1000 here, and on today's update I'm going to be showing how to make the trigger bar and the trigger. So I'll start off with the trigger, and that's really simple. Tacoma 1942 has already made videos on how to do this, but just to remind you, what you're going to do is print off the blueprints for the trigger, and I think it was can't remember what percentage I used actually. It was about probably either 33% or 50% on my Mac anyway. And on the Windows, I have no idea what it would be, but I won't be able to tell you anyway because everyone's different. So just experiment with it and figure it out for yourself, and then just print off the blueprints once you got it the actual size. And you're going to print off two. Let's see. On the two outer edges of the trigger, they're each going to be 0.08 inches, which is about 16 pieces. So in other words, both of these were 0.08 each, 16 pieces of paper about. I think I used a little bit less because of glue and thickness of paper. And then the middle piece on the trigger is going to be 0.066 inches, which is about 13 pieces of paper. And once you just layer them together after you cut them, then you can put all three pieces together. And the middle piece, when you look at the inside view of the blueprint, it's just that piece, right, that part right there, that's has lines. This is the internal view right there. So that's what you're going to use for the internal view. Yeah, there you go. You see that? Yeah, that part right there. Well, it's pretty self-explanatory, I think. You've come this far, so you should be able to know what I'm talking about. So you just put. I'm going to mention kind of an important thing, I guess. There's kind of a corner that's more flat, more straight across, and then one that's more rounded. The one that's more straight across, more of an angle, make that the top. That's the top side, and you'll see it on the blueprint. So it kind of is important to line it up like that, and then just put them together when you're done with the top side up. Just put glue in between them, put them together. And I'll do that later on, I guess. And then there'll be a little space in the middle, and that space is for your trigger bar to go through the center. And you're gonna glue that when you're done with it. So anyway, let's get to the trigger bar, how that's made. The trigger bar is just what goes through the inside of the mag well, through that trigger channel that you made, and it's going to go around the magazine. And the back of it's going to press on the disconnector, like I mentioned on the disconnector video. Which the disconnector is going to push on the sear, which is going to release the hammer and all that. So let's get started. So I made a trigger bar already, but I just want to see how flimsy it would be if I didn't use any metal at all, like Tacoma said. And it's pretty flimsy. I would not suggest making it without any metal in the middle, just because that's a very important part. So what I did is I went to Lowe's, and I found in the bolt section where they have a lot of drawers with bolts and knobs and everything, there's a project drawer that has this aluminum flat bar case, and I've already taken it out, but it's called aluminum flat bar, and it's like the only one there. But I got the bar, and I cut it into thirds pretty much, I think. Or you can get the blueprint. You can get the blueprint cut out and get the bar and decide how much you need to cut it to make sure it's through the middle to where there's paper showing on each side. Which this is not the one that I used. I used a smaller one. I think the smaller, what I cut the metal to, the width would be, it's 0.05. That's what I cut it to. 0.05 inches in width. So what I did is I printed out 6 printouts of these trigger bar views, and you're gonna notice that the printout, I mean the blueprint's of the trigger bar is gonna stop. If you can see that, the trigger bar on the blueprint stops at that little curved line right there. Well, I just extend it and keep on going, because remember, you need to bend it right there, so you need to have something to bend. So I just extended the cutout past there. Doesn't matter how far, just extend it and you'll cut it later. Okay, so once you got 6 of them cut out, you put glue on one side, and then you get your little thin metal piece that you made that's 0.05 in width, and you just get the metal and lay it on the glue and make sure it's straighten it up and lay it across, and then hold it down while it's drying, and then when it dries you snip it at the bottom to where it lines up. And then what I did is the remaining glue on the outside of the metal, I got the baking soda, and then just put it on there and smooth it out just to make sure the metal is held in place. Then after that, I got my magazine, which you don't need a magazine to do this, but I know a lot of you probably don't have a magazine. But what I did is when I got the paper with the metal glued in the middle, I took it and first bent this piece right here with some pliers. I got some needle nose pliers and grabbed it right there and just bent it into place, I just bent it curve, like tangent to it. And then the bend that you see, the bend right there, this is how I made that. I just got my magazine and kind of lined up the bend that I made with the pliers and lined it up in the middle, and then bent the metal and the paper around it and made sure it was flat. And I did that for both sides. And then after you got that metal piece glued in on that one layer of paper, you're gonna get another blueprint cut out that you made, and just cut out the middle of it so that you can put this paper around that metal piece. And that's what I did there. You can see it's cut a little bit, I think. Yeah, you can see the little space in the middle. I cut it so it would line up, it would go around the metal. And basically there's going to be 3 layers on each side. When I say each side, I mean like you have this side and then you have this side that goes around the magazine and the mag wheel. So 3 layers for each side, because each side is going to be 0.033 inches, and so yeah, three layers each on each side, with one of the layers with a hole in the middle so the metal can go through. And I'll probably put a link well, Tacoma 1942 has one that's his zooming is not messed up like mine, and you can kind of see it more clearly. But after you get that metal in the middle and then the paper around it, you get another layer cut out and just glue it on top of the metal, and then you're pretty much done. You might want to finish it off with, well, you're not done completely. I mean, you're done with that layer right there, but then you got to bend the back around. And when you bend the back around, what you're gonna do is get the blueprint and then bend it around to match the blueprint. So basically that's what you do. And when you're done, well, where did that, oh. When you're done, it'll look like this. And there is a slight angle on the back, and you can see on the blueprint that what angle you need to bend it at. You just follow that line and bend it there at the back. So it'll be like that. And the reason why it bends like that is because when it's through the magazine is going to be slanted, and it needs to be able to follow the magazine backing straight, like flush, like that. It doesn't need to be like that or, you know, bend or anything. It needs to be flush with the back. So that's the reason for the bend. So those are pretty simple. Once you finish the trigger bar, you just put it in the middle of your trigger that you make, and it's done. So let's see if there's anything I missed on here. The angle, just in case you're wondering, of the back is a 74.5 degree angle, like the blueprints say, and the space in the middle is going to be 0.552 inches. So once you bend the back into place, when you match it up with the blueprints, you're going to one side, since you're going to combine them, they're going to be too thick, so on one side you need to cut off some layers to make it equal 0.033. So yeah, you're pretty much done once you finish that. So wait until the next episode to, well, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do next episode, but thanks for watching.